What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zcash today, ZEC USD. It is the 19th day of November, and here we are sitting pretty at $623. My faith in Zcash going to $850 to $930, somewhere in that range, is just as strong here as it was here, as it was here. It's just as strong as it's been at all these various points, right? And I think now, after yesterday's aftermath of this little correction you had and coming back up, I think people are starting to see that yes, there is more to go. It's funny watching how volatile the market is with its sentiment on Zcash, right? One day it's the most bullish thing, the next day the move is over, the next day it's the most bullish thing again, the next day at a higher low the move is over. We haven't changed our stance once. We've just, if anything, both of these times I've actually said it's not a good time to buy. Even yesterday I was saying it's a good time to buy relative to this move, but it's probably not a good time to buy in respects to how close you are to this move ending, right? Like if you don't time this right, even though here from 622, I believe that you will probably see the price raise another $250 or more, and I very much believe that. Even though that's true, and you can catch a nice little pop off of that, like like what would that be, a 40% pump? Like basically a 40% pump or more, and that might happen over the next like 9 hours. It might happen over the next couple of days. It's still not worth it because if you don't time it right, this crash after you hit this level, it could be intense. It could take you back below this level, or maybe it takes you down so fast you're not in a profit taking mood. You're like, okay, I'll just wait for it to come back up. It does. You still don't take profits, and then boom, then you crash lower. It's just not a good time to buy, right? Don't get me wrong. I very much think that we're going higher, and I think that anybody who does buy here, if you time it right, if you have your sell order set up, you're probably going to do a nice little 30 to 50% move. But if you don't time it right, it could be catastrophic. And that's why I think, again, I point this out every single time. If you're looking to invest in Zcash, then you probably don't need much convincing to buy Dash, right? It's like all part of the same crowd. Dash is at a much better valuation, I think, because from its level, just to get back to the high that it was at, let alone to higher levels, which it's going to go to, that's already a 100% pump. Your money, and not to mention you've already seen a little bit of a correction. You're finding support at prior resistance here, prior resistance there. It's just better risk, I think, risk to reward on Dash than it is for Zcash. But again, if you want to buy Zcash, there's still a good opportunity here, 30 to 50% pump. I'm definitely not advocating that you sell here, right? More of an advocating not to buy, maybe advocating to sell here, but definitely advocating not to sell. I think if I was holding Zcash, I would definitely want to wait to sell until we were above like $850 personally. And again, the reason for that, the primary reason for that, is that if we take the high from last cycle to the bear market low, our first fib target, the very first one after this high, the 1272, is at $920. And if we're looking at Zcash USD on the all-time history chart, last cycle high to the bear market low, that target's at 877. So somewhere between 877 and 930. 920 is the 1272 on Coinbase, but if we take this high here to this low, 930 is the high of this range here. So I think somewhere between 877 to 930 is an appropriate range, and that's what we've been holding to. That's what we are holding to until it happens. Until we interact with this trend line, or sorry, this Fibonacci extension level, I don't believe this move is over. And I have another theory too, and I've actually talked about this a couple times. This might be the second time I've talked about this, but mark my words, I'm going to seem like a prophet with this. And I don't think it's really not that prophetic. I mean, I guess it is because we're talking about the future, but it's the only reason why I'm confident in this, and the only reason why I think that this call is going to play out masterfully, is because I've seen this happen before. This is my third bull market. I've seen this happen where there's a coin that everybody knows about, like Zcash. Every single person in crypto knows about it, but they overlooked it. And then it captivates everybody. It captivates the markets. And people sell their coins that are down here, that are at their lows. They sell it to buy the coin that's at the high. I've seen this happen before. What happens is the whole rest of the market's getting wrecked. Everything's going into this coin. So this coin's alive. Then this coin hits its target. It's going to stop there. It's going to consolidate. And when it consolidates, mark my words, guys, when Zcash starts to consolidate, that's when alt season's going to begin. That's when Bitcoin, that's when everything's going to start to recover, is when Zcash starts to consolidate. Whenever Zcash dumps, after it hits this level and it starts to do its thing for like a month or two, that's when the rest of the market's going to come to life. Mark my words. A lot of people might think if Zcash were to crash now, the crypto market's dead because this is the only thing that's alive right now. But I think it's the contrary. I think when Zcash is dead, that money is going to flow into lower cap coins, and there's going to be like a hydra. You cut off one head, there's going to be other heads that sprout up as a result. But this time you'll be able to catch the Zcash pump before it's all the way up here, right? On these other hydra heads, if you're catching my drift. I just think we're going to go up to this level because of a few reasons. One, all the way back here at like less than $200 from a high to a low, we theorized that we'd go up to the 712 to 927 level. That's the money zone, and we've skimmed it, but I think we've got more to go. The 1272 is directly in this zone as well at the the upper ends of this zone. The topper ends, I'm talking like Trump. It's a very bigly, hugely move to the topper ends. The all-time high from 2018, the cycle high in January, is also right at this level. There's just so much resistance at this level. And with that being said, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I'm not the only person who's aware of these levels. Maybe I'm the only person that uses the 3113. I don't know. Maybe some other people do as well. I don't know. Some crazy fib people. It's these deeper extensions are harder to navigate. It's kind of almost pointless to have them on, but this 2886 to 3113 level has been very helpful at various times. When you get past this, it's kind of less helpful. That's why we don't ever really talk about these levels, because at that point you have other retracements. I'm not trying to give you an education on fibs. Really, I'm getting distracted from the point, which is that resistance here, everybody with eyeballs can see it. Resistance here at the 1272, everybody who can draw a fib from a high to a low, which is trading algorithms, trading bots, right? Any kind of investor who has a basic level of sophistication, I don't even know if sophistication is the right word, basic level of knowledge, everybody's eyes are on that. And then if you're like me, 3113, 2886 level, there's this as well. It makes a lot of sense, all these resistance points here, that if we were to reach it but not quite get there, we could front run. There could be a lot of selling pressure, right? I think a lot of people are aware that Zcash is getting toward a tipping point. And with that, again, even though these target areas line up perfectly with 877 to 930, it all makes sense right in that area. Maybe we just miss it. Maybe we go just below. That could happen as well. So if you're looking at this video, if you're watching this video, and you're like, okay, C-Zar's my guy. He's got the secret sauce. I'm going to sell between 877 and 927. If it was me, let's say I played this out perfectly. If I bought Zcash here, first and foremost, I probably would have sold at 700, above 700. I would have just sold completely out at that point, and then maybe I would have moved it all into Dash, Monero, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, coins that I think are about to move up, right, that are next. But if it was me right now, and I was thinking to myself, and I am thinking to myself logically, that we go from $877 to $930, somewhere in that range, I would be selling as soon as we're above $800, because at that point, what's the difference? Imagine you have somebody who tells you they sold at $870 or they sold at $802, and then the price is all the way down here at $260. That number is the same. It doesn't matter. You sold the top. Good job. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather sell ahead of time and buy ahead of time as well. Most people, and maybe it's because I'm traumatized from my first market, but most people, and myself included in the first market, and even in the second market, they sell after the high is in because they're afraid of selling beforehand. And typically after the high, it's actually at a lower level than before the high, right? Like that's where that volatility, that flash crash happens, right? Imagine here you sold before the high, and then imagine here you sold after the high, right? Like maybe you would have sold this high point here, maybe. The crash is a lot heavier afterwards, right? Where the building is a little bit more steady. You could have you have ample amounts of opportunity to sell. I'm getting off on a whole nother tangent here, but all I'm trying to say is, for anybody who's holding Zcash, it's $617 now. If you're counting on 877 to 930 to be the range to sell at, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, go for it. I bet we hit it. I would bet, I really do, I am convinced that we go above $877. But if it was me trading this, I would probably sell as soon as we got above $800 personally. And again, do accept the possibility that the high could be in. That could be the high. It is possible. I don't think it is. We look at the 1 hour time frame. We haven't even done TA. I've done just so much talking. The 1 hour RSI bouncing off the oversold zone overall looks bullish. I would think we continue moving higher. Stochastics look bullish. The MACD is about to cross above the zero. Higher. Looks good. 4 hour time frame bouncing off the oversold zone just like it did back here. Consolidate and then rip. Consolidate and then rip. MACD is finding support at the zero. Nice. Nice. Right there. Beautiful. Stochastics look like they want to go higher as well. There's very little doubt in my head that we do see prices that are above these levels here. And when we get above these levels, we're probably going to get a nice pop. When you get above 730, 740, you're probably going to get a nice pop to that 800 zone, 900 zone in a very short amount of time. I mean, it really could be, if you thought I was joking when I said this, I'm not joking. We could be at $870 to $930 by the end of today. It could happen by the end of today. I don't know when it's going to happen, but let me restate that. I believe I know when it's going to happen. I believe I know when by it, I mean the high is going to happen. I just am not convinced on the specific day. Okay, we've got 4 days left in this week and 10 hours. 4 days, it's really like 4 days, 9.5 hours. I think the high comes in before the next 4 days and 9.5 hours is over. But is it today? Is it tomorrow? Is it the next day or the next day? I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. If I'm wrong, then certainly this high would come in next week, or maybe I'm just wrong altogether. The high's already in and then we go lower. But the short-term time frames suggest that we have higher to go. The daily time frame, I think, suggests that we have higher to go. I can't imagine the amount of shorts that have been piled on here. And actually, we can actually look at this here with Zcash over the past 30 days. We've only been moving up. We've only been moving up for the past 30 days. We're literally at the highs. And your shorts outweigh your longs almost 2 to 1 over the last 30 days. There you go. Longs outweigh the shorts over the past 24 hours. Hey, there you go. There's some sense to be made here. But there's still net shorts over longs over the past month for Zcash. I can't imagine that we're going to go lower from here. Not until these guys get reamed. And they get reamed. Wow, they get reamed once we're, I mean, all of them effectively get reamed once we're above about $750. And then we're just floating. And then from there, and anything's possible, right? Then from there, at any price, we could revert back down. But I've got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. If you're shorting this thing right here, you are asking for it, man. In fact, if you're shorting anything in the markets right now, you're probably asking for it. I just would stay away. Take care. Bye-bye.